The question of when to leave or disconnect from a narcissist is a common one that often arises in comments and messages. It's a significant question that has led me to contemplate something crucial: who am I? This is essential to discuss before I can address when it's appropriate to make a decision like this, as such a decision is deeply personal and unique to each individual. Many circumstances can influence such a decision, making it crucial to delve into this topic in today's discussion. This is about reclaiming your dignity and starting anew after experiencing narcissistic abuse. Hello and welcome to a new episode and video discussing narcissism. If you're interested in our content about narcissism, make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell to receive updates on upcoming episodes. When you find yourself in any kind of relationship, whether it's labeled as a marriage, friendship, or even a family tie, with someone you suspect is a narcissist, and when you eventually choose to leave such a relationship, you might feel like you've made the right decision. It can seem like you're rescuing yourself from a toxic bond that has been harming you day by day. If I were asked about a relationship like this, my initial response would be that you absolutely need to leave it as soon as possible. However, when contemplating a question like this, I sometimes feel that this might not be the complete answer. Because it's not realistic for most people to simply walk away without considering important factors. It's not at all realistic for most people to abruptly end a relationship without taking into account significant considerations. Factors such as the presence of children in the family, financial dependency, or a strong reliance on this person for specific aspects of life, like finances for instance, can make the decision more complex. Additionally, if you're emotionally attached to the relationship, it requires some thought and time to arrive at a decision like this. In many instances, the victim needs time to reach a conclusion about separating from such a relationship. This underscores the fact that under certain circumstances, the decision to detach from a narcissist can be challenging or require some deliberation. I believe the right question to ask oneself is, how can I continue to live in this manner and situation? If the narcissist you're dealing with isn't significantly impacting your daily life, and if the relationship is controllable, meaning you can manage its effects on you, your reactions, and interactions, then it might be prudent to wait for the opportune moment to end the relationship. This delay could be due to circumstances or reasons we mentioned earlier, like maintaining familial unity for the sake of children. However, if the harm persists, negatively affecting not only you but also your children, and if the relationship's toxicity intensifies substantially, then in such a scenario, it's undoubtedly advisable to end the relationship immediately. I also want to emphasize that narcissism comes in different types and degrees, and the harm caused varies from one narcissistic individual to another. It's also important to note that someone can be narcissistic without being harmful, and conversely, someone can be harmful without exhibiting narcissistic traits. Therefore, answering the question of whether to leave the relationship or not depends on the extent of harm and negativity caused by the narcissistic person due to the continuation of the relationship. If you find yourself dreading or feeling distressed about returning home every day, and if your life is overshadowed by sadness and harm, then it's crucial and very likely that you should seriously consider ending the relationship. This doesn't mean you have to declare your desire to leave immediately, but rather you can start by formulating a plan to gradually detach from the narcissist's influence in your daily life. For example, you can work on becoming financially independent from them and finding an alternative living situation. Once you reach a point where you've managed to minimize the narcissist's impact on your life, you'll be better prepared to completely sever the relationship. It's important to note that the narcissistic individual doesn't need to know your intentions or plans. You should keep your intentions private and only share them with someone you truly trust and who can offer you support. On a day like this, when you decide something like this, you should be fully prepared to separate from the narcissist both materially and emotionally. One of the most dangerous things you might encounter is if the narcissist becomes aware of your intentions or what you're thinking. In essence, the point I'm trying to make is that when you make a decision like this, you must be capable of truly disconnecting from the narcissist in all aspects, both material and emotional. One of the gravest risks is if the narcissist gains insight into your intentions or your plans. As soon as the narcissist senses that something unusual is happening or even the slightest change within you, they'll start manipulating you in a way that allows them to infiltrate your thoughts. They want to know everything about you. If this occurs, you won't be able to achieve anything and all your plans will crumble. The narcissist believes and is convinced that you don't have the right to think independently and that secrets should not be kept from them. Your only responsibility is to do what you genuinely believe is best for you, your family, or your children. Especially if you have children, a life filled with sadness won't benefit them in any way. This advice isn't limited to married individuals, it's relevant to both genders. Keep in mind that when discussing narcissistic traits, it's applicable to both men and women. What you really need to do is try to prioritize what brings you peace and enables you to continue your life harmoniously with those around you, whether it's your family or children. If you're in a situation where you can provide assistance to those around you, do so only when you're in a state that allows it. If you attempt to help others while you're struggling, you'll only drain yourself further and won't be able to help either yourself or those around you effectively. Escaping narcissistic harm or toxic relationships is an extremely important matter. However, no one can provide a definitive or accurate answer about when exactly to leave such a relationship. This decision is highly personal, and only you can make it because it's based on the unique circumstances you're experiencing. Each relationship is different and has its own nuances, which determine whether it's feasible to continue or not. You alone have the authority to assess the extent of the relationship's toxicity, and you are the one who decides when to leave or continue. You might find that you can endure the situation until circumstances change, or the harm becomes unbearable to the point where continuing is no longer an option. Regardless of your decision, remember that you will be accountable for it and will bear the consequences. What I want to convey in this video is that neither I nor anyone else can give you a definitive answer to this question. You possess all the information and are governed by the situations more than anyone else. Our role is simply to assist you in reaching a sound decision, not to dictate what actions you should take. No one, no matter their role, can make this decision on your behalf, regardless of who they are. Even if you've made attempts to separate from the narcissistic relationship and weren't successful, or if strong attachment or other reasons caused you to retract your decision, don't let this discourage you or lead you to lose hope in rescuing yourself and your family from a toxic relationship. Try again, reconsider, and salvage what remains of your situation before it's consumed in a draining relationship. It's possible that after your separation from the narcissistic relationship, they may attempt to regain control over you using various manipulation tactics. You should be aware that this isn't the end, and you have the capability to overcome your vulnerabilities that allowed them to regain a hold over you. Don't let them succeed in using those weaknesses against you again. You must have the strength and ability to completely sever contact, as this is your greatest defense against the narcissist's attempts to reclaim you. It provides you with the utmost protection against their efforts to lure you back into their grasp. Once you manage to break free from this toxic relationship, you'll regain your life anew. You'll experience happiness after sorrow and find tranquility after exhaustion. You'll reclaim the essence of who you were before this toxic relationship altered you. Although the experience undoubtedly changed you and turned you into someone else entirely, as soon as you distance yourself from the narcissistic influence, you'll rediscover your true self step by step. Upon reuniting with yourself, you'll become an entirely different person, someone equipped with knowledge and experience in dealing with toxic relationships. This newfound resilience will shield you against future attempts to ensnare you in another narcissistic bond or to drain you again. You'll return as a much stronger version of yourself. The shock and lessons learned from this experience will undoubtedly shape you into a powerful individual who won't allow themselves to go through such an ordeal again. Consider these words carefully if you're in need of self-assistance or if you can share this advice with someone going through a similar situation. It could change their life for the better. The message we want to convey through this video is that there's no specific or appropriate time to leave a narcissistic relationship. You, as the one experiencing it, should reevaluate your circumstances and take action based on how you're handling them. You should act in your best interest and the interest of your family, for which you're responsible. I hope this episode has provided you with valuable insights. We look forward to meeting you in the next installment, where we'll delve into another topic related to narcissism. Thank you, and peace, mercy, and blessings be upon you all.